Hey guys, Pastor Allen here. Hey, I want to take a moment to talk about communion. The session recently decided that we're going to continue to have weekly communion into the next month. And as your pastor, hey, to be honest, I'm really excited about this because I love serving you guys communion each week. I love that communion is this great visible gospel moment when we are reminded of what Jesus has done for us, and we're reminded that we belong to the body of Christ. And so there's this great unifying moment that happens where Jesus, in a sense, spiritually feeds us and communicates his grace to us. On the other hand, I recognize that not everyone is as excited about weekly communion. And I get it. I get it that for most of us, this is not something we grew up with. I didn't grow up with it. And I get that for fellowship, this is still something very new. And it may have been okay when we were outside and trying something different, but now that we're back inside, we're all kind of craving a sense of normalcy and wanting to get back to church how it used to be. I also get that we all want it to feel special, and we don't want communion to somehow turn into a meaningless religious routine. I definitely don't want that to happen either. And so I wanted to take time to address those concerns, but I realized I needed to do it as part of a larger biblical conversation. And so what that means is that after we finish our Philippians series, we're going to do a new sermon series on the sacraments. Now, we're going to talk about how Presbyterians define the sacraments, how that's different than other groups. And we're going to talk about how through the sacraments of baptism and communion, God actually does something to us, how he shapes us, how he nourishes us, how he helps us grow as disciples of Jesus Christ. We're going to talk about why for 1,500 years after Jesus, all Christians everywhere received weekly communion, and how even after the Reformation, reformers like Martin Luther and John Calvin encouraged Protestant churches to still receive communion weekly. And we're going to talk about also how to prepare for communion and how, if you and I participate in the worship service each Sunday, our hearts are actually being prepared to receive communion. And overall, I hope to be able to communicate to each of you why the session believes that receiving communion each week is still worth doing. Even if it needs some tweaking, even if there's some things to be ironed out, why it's worth pushing through and still doing each week. So here's the thing. If you're one of those who loves that we're doing communion each week, you can be happy knowing that it's going to continue. On the other hand, if you're someone who right now you're kind of unsure about weekly communion, or maybe to be honest, you're kind of opposed to it, then I just want to say to you, please hang tight and join us for the sermon series that will start November 8th. In the meantime, we will continue to work to make sure each time that we as the body of Christ at Fellowship receive communion, it is a meaningful time focused on Jesus and what Jesus has done for us and the benefits that he imparts to us every time we gather for this meal that Jesus has invited us to. Blessings. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday and continuing and finishing up the Philippians series. All right. See ya. Take care. Bye.